if it wasn't for that $1,500 hookup.
Right.
You know, and again, I'll gonna go to the map on
Well-
that one, but I'm going to the map because you didn't look, because it's pretty clear. It's
Well,
very clear.
Can I jump in? From my point of view, it looks like we made a board decision that was voted on to replace the $1,500 fee with, is there a small fee now?
$150.
$150 plus a $5,000 bond to ensure that it gets installed, hold on, correctly. And that's the way it stands right now, so how do we rectify that? If it's a complaint, do we, we can have a vote to rescind that, go back to the old way, or, but that was,
Or process it the right way, let the public know about it and stuff, then you're gonna have a hearing. But it's gonna be more than just that, guys, at $1,500. Cause you're going back and you're talking about the bylaws with that, and that's not where they change that stuff, it really isn't. And the other thing is, the bylaws and even your minutes, everything that has to be filed in the county, I had the conversation when I went out with you guys. To include your minutes, and your statements and stuff like that, they should have any resolutions in there. So an audit needs to be done, whether you do it yourself or you hire somebody else to go through and look at those issues that we find in the resolution or whatever it is and say, okay, this is where it was, so we're talking about this property, where's the application for that property to show that there's allowed 5 hookups and blah, 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 and then you come back that way, but that thing's a mess. And I'm embarrassed by that, because when Zach and I left this over to Linden and, McAllister, I think, was on that time, this district was in pretty damn good running shape. We had enough money to build shops and stuff out there, talking about being a shortfall. We had a shortfall every year, or every month was a shortfall, because we're a nonprofit organization. So that argument over what the county can do in that, we've already hashed all that stuff out. It's already been done years ago, but what I'm saying is, you don't have the backing of the education from that, because you didn't have anybody on the board to do that for you.
Right.
So, again, I think it needs to back up a little bit, because you're getting a lot of us that have been here for a long time to know this stuff, getting us irate, because you're not listening to us. That's the issue, or, you know, and again, you lied out of that, and that's public trust.
No.
That's a big
I
time
got you,
public
Frank.
trust.
And and like you said, I've told you, I've listened to you on a lot, and I've gone to your legal people that you've told me to get that documentation. And yeah, some of it we stand corrected. Some of it, like I said, wasn't us, as you just submitted. There was other boards who did stuff.
Doesn't make it right.
And I didn't say it was right, but I have to try to figure out how do we make it right. And you're right, the resolutions, a resolution is a temporary order for 30 to 60 days to fix something you need to in a short term, or until whatever it was assigned to is completed, okay? There's a lot of those resolutions that are already past their time and are no longer valid due to change in bylaws, also change in the system, because the system was updated in 2018. I agree with you, a lot of those resolutions need to come out and not be a resolution, need to be actually something in the bylaws, because they are a part of the system. And I'll use the one is the justification of where's the sewer district and where's the homeowner. There's a resolution on that, that clearly says that. That needs to be in the bylaws. That's a permanent thing that all the boards need to know, is where's that demarcation line between the sewer district and the homeowner. Where's the responsibility take over from which one? We already know several different boards use different lines. And that's why there's lift stations on the homeowner side and there's lift stations on our side. So just that one resolution would have cleared that up for a lot of these installs, and not, like you just said, not be subject to the board changing its installation process, but actually say, no, this is the way it is, and that needs to be added to the bylaws. That's kind of where we're at, is going through, as you saw, all those files and trying to figure out, one, what's applicable, what's here, what didn't come back. Because as you saw, some of that resolution stuff wasn't in the books. Sarah found it by luckily going through boxes of stuff and found that amendment, but it wasn't in the resolution book. And I know some people, as Forrest has pointed out, we should have been like on this. It's not that easy when you've got 40 years of documentation in a building that's not clearly defined, that's not laid out, in front of you. And you're right, it's not like when I came on the board, even with no previous board members, there was nobody like that walked up and said, hey, here's your manual. this is how you do the
Yeah,
district.
sure as I was.
Well, what we pieced together is, I guess, is the misunderstanding is because we're taking what we can find. And I'm really taking what I can find. I know you brought up stuff that I didn't find, and I can't. So it's hard for me to make a decision or a statement on something I don't have tangible. Because, you know, honestly, Frank, it's your opinion of what you're telling me, but I really needed those documents. And we went to the legal and went to the lawyers. Some of it they.
What legal and what lawyers are you talking about?
The
Because it
one
looks like you didn't have
no,
anybody
you
to help
told
you.
me to go to Staley
Yeah.
Engineering,
Yeah.
was it Mallory?
No, Murdoch.
Murdo, sorry.
Yeah, Murdoch.
No, cause that's what I was looking for when you were bringing this up, like, where's the document? Some of it they didn't have anymore, cause of their archiving of their
Okay.
systems. So they didn't have it, so it wasn't readily available.
Yep.
Luckily, we've only found the one document that actually pertained to this particular issue in there, and that was an amendment, and it was only signed by 2 board members, it wasn't dated, so, you know, that's what I got to work off.
Yep.
Okay, the other boards that came behind it didn't hold that up, they didn't keep it going, they changed the bylaws, they changed the system. I mean, I'm sorry, that's the legal thing when the attorney's saying is when the things change in the system, those items previously are null and void. You go with the new ones. Well, no one's wrote any new resolutions. I know not on our board. There were a couple from
So
the
you're
previous.
saying all those resolutions in that book are all time sensitive, is what you're telling me?
Most of them are, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They are. That's what a resolution's for. It's a temporary.
So you gotta get one of them attorneys that work for you.
Yeah. Well, that's
You know,
what we were
because
talking
of
to.
your interpretation of that is.
It's not my interpretation. That's
Resolutions are what we have to be able to just come through and make legal decisions to be able to come back.
Yeah.
You have to spell out in there the time frame.
Well, can I jump in?
There's a formal way of doing a resolution, and that's through the county as well. But let's go back to the other thing we were talking about, with finding all these files and stuff.
Yeah.
And I had a good talk with Sarah about this, get a hold of the county, because everything's gotta be filed down there. If it's not filed down there, you better find the original, or it just doesn't play.
yeah.
It doesn't work. If you can't find it as filed, there's no record of that, and it should have that sign, that seal on it.
Yeah.
Because you can go through that book of resolutions and you can see where they can file with the county, and there's a bunch in there, to include the one I looked at that wasn't on there to file.
Yep.
So it's that type of stuff.
It's a lot. Yeah. I'm not arguing with you. I'm agreeing with you. It's a pain to.
Well, when you're changing stuff and you're just doing that on your own doing, you don't even know or realize you gotta have the authority from the district to be able
Okay.
to do those changes and stuff. That's where things get a little crazy.
So can I jump in? Is it the fee that's your issue, or is it the process?
Well, let me explain this to you, and I've done this many times since I've been here. When this whole district started, everybody in this community had to participate some money into this thing, or we wouldn't have had it. So, can you imagine getting $1,500 from people back in 1980 at that time? They made agreements out of there, because not everybody wanted to get hooked on, for whatever reason, and there's a few different reasons, so they made a determination, it's like, you don't have to hook on right now. But when you do, you're gonna have to pay this $1,500 what everybody else had to pay. Well, some of the folks were like, well, we have it now, what can we do?
So there's a
What, now,
record.
hear me out. Then they said, okay, we keep going back to $14 or whatever for this extra fee. I think that was about what it was. They made payments for $15 a month for however long it was, no interest, to pay that $1,500. So that's where, and there's no way in hell.
So-
somebody that knew what was going on could say, oh, that was to ensure that maintenance was done or whatever the hell it was. No, that was debt retirement for the community or for the district to have this happen.
Yeah.
And that's
I
the
get it.
original.
And your debt retirement, and you're right, your debt retirement was 2018. You paid for the system, you paid it off in
No, but
2018.
the people here that hadn't hooked on hadn't paid that to the district, because the district paid for
The
that.
people that were already here at that time.
Yes. All this is tied to the property. I don't care if
Yeah.
you're leasing that property or what, who's paying the taxes on that thing is the ones that have a vote and have a say. And that's why state law, we're asking about eligibility and stuff like that. You have to be not only an owner of property, you have to be a resident in the district.
Mhm.
We had issues where we had snowbirds.
Yeah.
What do you think would be wrong with that? They're here all the time. Well, it'd be no different than somebody living over in North Dakota and coming over here a couple months out of the year or whatever. We wouldn't allow that anymore neither. And I believe in the bylaws about that time, 97 or so, that's when a lot of that stuff was just put into a bylaw. That was
It's not in the current set of bylaws. And what I'm hearing you say is that the current set of bylaws should include all past resolutions.
We're just talking, that's what we have a book of resolutions, because you're not gonna put.
No, I'm just
one of those
trying to
laws in.
affirm what
you're
We got military guys in here, stuff, it's called operating instructions and so on and so forth.
I'm just,
They explain that stuff over and over, it's not my job to do that.
I know,
I don't have patience.
I'm
Have you
just
not
trying to,
noticed that yet? I don't have patience.
I'm
That's
just
why I
trying to
don't do this
confirm
shit.
what you're telling us is that this set of bylaws should include all previous
Or
resolutions.
reference to resolutions or whatever the hell it is. If you wanna pull up DEQ and say, we're gonna follow that stuff, and we had all these contracts, everybody agree, that's a great thing, and you brought it up to the community for a vote, you can reference the DEQs, whatever at that point in time. That's again, it can be roll over and over if it's an, that's how you reference stuff.
Well, that's what we're doing.
That's you guys, that's what explains it.
Yeah.
That's when I looked at that book of resolutions, and it looked like an issue book for that particular person that
And-
hates
and
it.
then-
That's bullshit.
No, and
That's
I'm
how
with you
it
on
is.
that, Frank, because you're right.
But you
Because
get
there
what I'm
are
getting at?
some that are,
That is law, resolutions are law in this
Uh-huh.
district, because they've been brought up
I
with
know.
all the authority.
we're not arguing,
Okay.
we agree with you.
So
But
I
you're
just-
also doing what you stated, is we're weeding out the ones where like an isolated issue from
Yeah.
2006. That's not something current, put that one aside. What's the next one?
Okay.
Oh, this one is something that needs to be in the bylaws. That's the process we're in right now, is determining which one of those should be a legitimate bylaw reference in the thing, and what were just temporary, like we're fixing this on this driveway type deal resolutions, cause they have some of those. That was like a temporary maintenance thing.
This
That's
should be
not
brought up-
current.
or whatever, that should be brought up something different. but-
Exactly,
an
but they're
actual
all in the same
procedural
book.
thing That changes anything to the financial aspect of this district.
Financials,
Yeah, district is involved in
policies,
it,
yeah.
and that's ain't even a dollar. Well, no, wait a second, I think there's like 1.5 or 2%, you can do increases without a hearing.
okay.
Without-
Well, we haven't
anyhow,
changed any
I'm
of
just
that.
saying, this stuff is in Montana code, and again, I'll go back,
And,
you need to, you need
I
to go
know,
through
and
this shit.
I will say this too, just so for your record, you're right, that page, book to page 200 where it's logged, that it says in the resolution, and not every secretary sent that in. So it's on your resolution page, but, cause this is where I got in trouble with finding the 1500, cause it didn't make it to the book. So I couldn't find it on that end, even though they said they sent it in, and this is the book they recorded it in, this is the page they're in, it never got there. And this is the same thing we had with previous election paperwork and other things else, that whoever the local secretary was at that time did not follow through and send the stuff forward where it was supposed to go.
Oh,
I can't correct that,
Can I make a motion here?
I'm just doing the rework of finding. Go ahead.
That we just table this
Yep.
until we do some more research on this.
So we are in the research
I
process,
think
we're just pulling it all in.
That's my motion, is to table this until we can,
Okay, we can table the 1500 along with the rest of the resolutions that we're
So-
talking about.
So does that mean you're no hookups
I don't think
until
so.
this is resolved, is that
No.
what you're saying?
Well, wait,
No,
hold
no.
up, do we even have any hookups scheduled?
Yeah, I've got an application waiting to get this shit answered.
Okay.
Yeah, why would I come in here and go, I don't
Well,
have
you can pay your
$1,500?
$1,500 and we'll just go ahead and accept
No,
it and hold it on your permit.
Because I think
No.
there's a bunch of other folks that have been here just recently that owe that $1,500, and that's where I'm getting my heartburn when I come in here, when we start talking about following different things and stuff, and you
Okay.
keep referring back, because
Alright,
what do
Chris,
we have here? When we
Chris,
have
we're gonna
minutes?
hold up, Frank, we'll table this so that no new applications until we get a final resolution.
And tear that
on
whole
this matter.
application,
Yeah. And at that time, we'll determine what we do with the in-betweeners.
well, we got a motion, so I think, well,
Go,
we have a motion, we have to have a second, and then we have to have, Mr. Day, have his public comment. So the motion is to table, my motion is to table this $1,500 discussion until we're clear that that past resolution at least, or any or all resolutions from prior to this set of bylaws are attached to the bylaws.
The original, if you don't mind, the original resolution with all this stuff in there includes how far you can build, put your septic.
That's
tank.
fine, I just wanna add.
No, but what
this.
I'm saying is, all that stuff is gonna be
Okay,
period.
no,
That's what I'm getting at.
alright.
Cause it's not just $1,500.
Oh, alright, fine, Roger.
And I just wanted to, take the opportunity to apologize. I was out of line, you're correct. That was not very good, and I apologize to you guys for losing my temper like that, and for my language, and I apologize, I was out of line. I stand by some of what I said, not all of it. I agree with him that you guys need to be paying more attention to Montana Code annotated, and I stand by the fact that Mark should not be a board member based on Montana law. But
Okay.
again, I was out of line.
And thank
I
you,
should have,
Roger.
like you said, shown some decorum, and again, I apologize for that.
Thank you, Roger, really appreciate
So we
that.
got a motion.
But I will, you know,
I have a question because, Mike, does your motion include no hookups until this is resolved? Is that part of your motion?
yes.
No, it's
So,
not, my,
you know, you're tabling it.
I'm tabling.
Let's
it.
stick with the table for right now. We'll table, this
No, what he's
discussion.
asking is,
I know, we're gonna get to that second. So right now, we're gonna table this motion for Mike. Do we have a second?
well, I think he wants to qualify that my motion
We're gonna add a second.
includes,
You can make a separate.
Yeah, I was gonna make a
motion.
second.
Yeah.
This motion right now is we're gonna table the $1,500 hookup fee until the proper, resolution and legal discussion happens. We have Mike made the motion, second. We have second, Dan. All in favor, say aye. Nay, Susie. So we got 4-1.
and then you have another motion.
Yeah. Then the second motion will be that we not have any new installs until this matter is actually remedied, rectified, or brought back in front of the district for clarification.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I'm just making sure that if that's an acceptable thing, and we can just, cause we really don't have any on the book, so it's a perfect time, and we can hold pattern until we get clarification.
There's a lot of issues coming up, what he's also talking about, so again, it goes back to that application,
Hold on.
where you're
Yeah.
talking about power
Well,
and who's
let's get past
responsible
this
for being
I
this
know,
and that.
alright, so that's my motion that we, suspend all new applications until this, matter is resolved or remedied. Do you have a second?
I second.
Second by Dan. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay.
4-1, okay. Alright, moving on, QuickBooks Access, Article 24. See, Chris.
That's me, yeah, I brought that up. So I still have issues with the QuickBook access, having full access. You know, I'm not opposed to any board member being able to get in there and, print reports and stuff like that, but having full access to everything. I mean, this also is going to tie into, my other new business, Keys and Access. You know, it has happened. Board members, employees have gone in and walked out with files. They, you know, set up a website to,
Well, let's go to the QuickBooks first, right?
so this is part of the QuickBooks, yeah. Past board members have set up websites to basically intercept pay. You know, and I'm not saying that you guys are doing that, but there needs to be a precedent set, so that can't ever happen again.
I think there's a remedy for that, and that's the law.
No, I know what he's talking about,
Yeah.
security procedures.
Absolutely.
With the-
Because it happened, and,
Yeah.
you know, and that's why that's why this board is here, and, you know, you guys took over and whatnot because of this situation, exactly, so.
I think this was one we discussed also too, and with you, Sarah, was about having that backup, you know, getting the thumb drive backups,
Yeah.
Yep.
things like that, so, you know, we don't lose data,
Yeah.
and then two, you can tell if kind of data's been compromised, cause then you would have your clean copy to go back to cross-reference. Okay, so that's some of your internal, you know, security, measures that, you know, we
But
talked
yes,
about.
But right now and Mike, again, nothing against you personally, but right now having a board member that has full access, that can get in there and basically do whatever they want. I'm not saying that you would do that, but it sets a precedent for future boards. You're not gonna be here forever. I'm not gonna be here forever. So, but I'm just saying there needs to be a precedent that prevents that kind of action in the
Okay.
future.
And the one remedy I gave you finish their work.
Yes, but I'm just talking about the access
Access
to
to the-
QuickBooks.
Well, cause currently, that is our only verification, is having the treasurer look into stuff to verify items, line items and things like that. If you have an auditor who's doing that, then he doesn't need to be doing
How many administrators have full access to QuickBooks right now?
Just you. Oh, administrators?
Yeah, it's QuickBooks administrators, and
I-
the last time I looked, there was 4.
4.
So I have access, Aaron through Ledger Tax has access, and Michael Blakely had access to do our annual reports. But I don't know that Blakely has complete full access, I'll have to double check on that.
Yeah.
Cause I did not set,
Accountants
That up.
usually do.
oh, okay.
it. Who?
Accountants usually.
If it's set up as an
Oh.
accountant, so you can have you can have, our subscription has, you can have 2 accountant logins that you don't necessarily get charged for. It has to do with users and how many you have and how many you're charged for.
Paying subscriptions, right? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's my thing, I think right now, just cause it's accountability. If you get your part done with the third-party auditor, and you know, remember that's a position you're supposed to be doing, I think that eliminates a lot of the double justification or, you know,
Okay.
double validation we need. So let's get that done and have that, and then I think a lot of that goes away. Cause, if someone else is auditing, then we can get away from whose decision it is or whose thought it is, cause the independent auditor will line it out. I think most of it comes down to what's actually listed or not listed correctly. So I'm not an accountant, so I can't verify or tell you, I just know that it is something that's in the book and it's in there for a reason, to have that
Yeah.
independent auditor. I think we both decided that we haven't had one done in 5-6 years. You know, going back in books from the last time y'all could find something, it needs to be done. I mean, these
We've
books
already
need
got
to
a
be.
list of
This-
external auditors.
Can I jump in here?
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to not being in there, but we had this outfit out of Kalispell that didn't do anything. Blakely didn't do, I have a report here it's not signed and it's not complete. And we're not, you know, these are big red flags. And there's a remedy for, you know, like I said, I'm not opposed to you guys not wanting me in there, but there's big red flags out there waving in the wind about, you know, a lot of this stuff, and that's the only reason that I'm in there.
I'm not opposed to you Mike, being in there, it's just the amount of access that you have, and it's, again, nothing against you, but you know, if you step down, whatever, and somebody else comes in, and they're like, you know what, I'm just gonna get in there and I'm gonna pay my bill this month, and just change some numbers in there, that's the precedent we're setting right now.
Well, there's always a remedy, there's a remedy for everything, and I understand your argument, I completely
Yeah, that's-
understand your argument. But there's a remedy for everything, and I don't think my argument's being understood, that this is, you know, this is not good. The book, any of the books that I've seen in the 15 months I've been here have not been
So,
good.
and I've asked you numerous times for, what is not good on those.
I've provided that, but I'll provide it again.
Okay,
Thanks.
alright,
Can I,
go
can I
ahead.
just clarify, there's nobody from Kalispell, Blakely's not in Kalispell.
No, this was before you
Yeah,
got
this
here.
was-
Oh, okay.
We had an,
That we were paying
it was
$6,000
it was a
year.
relative of a board
Oh, okay.
member
I
who was
thought
doing
that
the
was-
audits,
okay.
no, and was doing the audits for $9,000.
Yeah,
And yeah,
So-
we fired them and got them out of here, but that's what he's referencing, is the
So-
other company was doing it.
Yeah,
and also the
It was a
annual
nice little
reports,
check push.
the copies I have in the office are not like, the copies that were sent certified to the state, were signed and filled out correctly. Those are just, I printed extra and put them in our file so we
Can
have
we get
the
a copy of
numbers. I
that
mean,
report?
I think
just
they-
with the signature on the bottom,
The whole report
the annual report that
from
we sent.
Blakely, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
And-
forward the email to you.
Uh,
Okay, that'll work, let's move on.
okay,
Yeah, that way you get it, and get your security procedures in place, and then get your audit done, and then we can revisit.
Is there a motion on this, or?
No, it's just actions, and they need to do. Okay, new business, oh, sorry, any public comment on QuickBooks? No, okay. New business,
Forrest
Oh,
Purcell,
sorry.
I just wanna make sure for the record, you did at the last meeting say that you modified accounts in there, so.
No, I didn't, Forrest.
did.
Don't misspeak. I
You
did
said it
not
was
say
yours.
that. No, I
But
did
you
not
said
say
that
that.
you did,
If you're gonna speak the truth,
that's what I'm doing.
okay?
Alright.
What did I say I did then?
alright, no, we're, Forrest made a note, duly noted, we'll verify and check. Cause we are moving on. New business, elections, ST, oh, Sarah, sorry. Alright,
So I have these blue folders for all you guys. It includes the stuff that Connor from the elections office sent. It just outlines kind of the election process, if you will, the deadlines for when, the candidacy filing period opens, which is January 20th. So you have from January 20th until 5 p.m. February 4th to send in your paperwork to become a candidate for the 2 open seats. And then we will, as a board, need to pass a resolution to call for an election. That has to be done before Monday, February 9th. And it has to be sent in to them on the 9th. And then the election will be in May. It is a mail ballot election. I know that from the school, and Darcy Jakushak, the clerk at the school, she's the elections administrator for here. And then we do have 2 seats open. We have Mark's seat and Dan's seat that are open for election. Yeah, so I have extra of the forms if anybody wants one. I'm sure you can print them off from the state website too.
so, we're gonna address this resolution at the next meeting, which will still give us more than ample time.
Correct.
So the
Yeah,
thing-
if we pass
okay.
it in February, it can be on the agenda, we can vote, pass the
So
resolution.
it gives
in
everybody
February.
the 3 weeks to review, and then we'll do the resolution at the next meeting. And then, don't you have to have this in before our next meeting, correct? What's the 4th?
Let me look at the calendar real quick.
You better no, it's on the sheet.
So the first Tuesday of February is the 3rd, and we just have to have the resolution in by the 9th. So if we pass.
No, but the candidates have to have their stuff in
in
by
by
the 4th.
The 4th, correct.
Is that seems out of procedural, but okay.
I mean, we could hold a special.
No, as long as
meeting
we're
after
doing
the
ours on
4th.
Tuesday the 3rd, I got you. Alright.
And theoretically, I mean, we can have a resolution calling for an election and then find out we don't need it, and it's.
But no, as long
kind
as
of
we
open
do it on the 3rd, then
Yes.
we're in. Okay,
Mhm.
I think that's a safe thing.
Yeah.
And if anybody's interested, Sarah will have extra
Yeah.
kits for anybody else. There are 2 seats open, and schedule for that, yeah, welcome to the nightmare, yeah.
Suggest you put that like in the library or something.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
In the district so people know about it, that's. the
Yeah.
problem
We'll make
as
a
well.
Facebook post
And
about
you
it.
gotta make sure you let people know you gotta be a resident, and that means you're full time. You're either here 6 months out of the year or you're not a resident.
What's that?
But then,
You gotta show most of your time is in this district.
yeah,
Board member.
Sarah too, if y'all would, make sure we get the recorder's office from December 12th. Notice up in the library and at the post office.
Yeah.
I think it's just those first 2 sheets,
Yeah.
cause the rest of it, if they're interested, they can get the packet from you.
Yeah, I can do that, and I
Alright.
was gonna make a Facebook post on our
Yep.
Facebook
Alright.
page, let everybody know.
That work?
But I
Thank
just
you for
wanted
that.
to explain the process. and
Yep,
then-
I got you, thank you so much for that.
Yep.
Communication, Susie. Or is that not you or somebody? I don't know.
Yeah, it is, I feel like there's a failing in communications on the board, that stuff comes in to maybe a specific board member, but it is not shared with the entire board.
Okay,
So if you're taking communications from somebody, that needs to be documented and shared with the manager. First of all, the manager, everything should be, forwarded to Chris, and everyone should be referred to Chris. And then if he has any issues with dealing with any situations, he can come to the board and talk to us, but he should be the first person, the first line of defense, or to, deal with any issues regarding anything. The board members should not be, taking it upon themselves to try and handle issues, outside of their authority.
Can I, does that include the emails that you were receiving from, the attorney in Missoula that we haven't seen any records of?
I have had no communication with them
Well, they billed us,
since we handed over.
Mike, wait till we get to that one. Cause it's G on the road list here. So, just keep it what Susie's talking about, communications, emails, failing communications, and the process of running everything through the manager. Is there anything else, Susie?
No,
Okay. Any action requests, motions on this? Or is this just an FYI that we need to clean up our communications? And I will back on one thing, we do need to keep some professional decorum even amongst ourselves as board members. I know discussions get heated, I know there's topics that are sore subjects, but let's do keep professional decorum, cause do remember, all emails are subject to legal actions, they can be presented. So you wanna make sure you keep all your comments and stuff in some form of professional decorum. Keys and access. Oh, so, is it, okay, yeah, public comment, and on internals, okay. Keys and access, Chris, I think we kinda covered
We
this.
talked about that the other
Okay.
day. I would-
I don't, Sue, you don't have any keys, do you?
I have a key that it was provided to me for, the gate when Jake Shaw was trying to access his
But yeah,
camp.
that was it.
I
right?
still have possession of that key because it opens the box on the gate, and
Yeah.
if the gate's stuck open, I don't have to call Chris on the weekend, I can take.
No,
it.
that's cause it's access to your property, right, and all that.